Hey everyone, welcome to the Obvious Podcast. My name is Sonny Macon. I'm the COO of ABC Florida East Coast. I want to welcome you to episode number 19, Peter. 19.
That's awesome.
This is so exciting.
Hard to believe. So my name is Peter Dyga. I'm the president and CEO of Associated Builders and Contractors Florida East Coast chapter. Welcome.
The Obvious Podcast is a production of ABC Florida East Coast. Unless otherwise stated, all contents reflect the opinions of the guests and the hosts, which is us.
If you like the Obvious Podcast, you can subscribe on all major podcast platforms such as Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and Spotify, among others, or watch the audiovisual version on YouTube. You can also follow the Obvious Podcast on Instagram, X, and Truth Social. You can always reach out to us via email at theobvious@abceastflorida.com.
Well, Peter, here we are. January is well underway. ABC's off to a gangbusters 2025. And we have a very special guest today.
We're going to get used to having these special guests, right?
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of special guests.
So it is our honor to have our Vice President of Membership Development. Is that right, Jay?
Yes.
All right. So how many years, Jay, have you been at ABC?
About 11 and a half.
Awesome. So we want to talk today a little bit about membership, right? It's the, it's at the core of who we are as an organization and drives everything we do.
Absolutely.
We've had a few years of really great growth. We continue to grow as an organization, which is awesome. So you're kind of in that engineer seat in the locomotive, in terms of all this. So we want to talk about all things membership that we can in 20 minutes here at the Obvious.
Which,
Podcast.
if you know Jay, he talks a lot, so it'll be a challenge, but we'll get it done.
I'll try.
All right.
We'll direct you.
Sounds
all right,
good.
So
But before we get into that, tell us how you ended up at ABC and where you're from and your wonderful memories of Ohio.
it's a great
and,
story.
Yeah.
From Ohio, originally from the Cincinnati-Dayton area.
WKRP land.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
That's right.
We grew up there. My wife and I met her when she was 14 and had a great time traveling around here and in New York and in Atlanta and other such places we've lived. My background was at the beginning at a magazine, a trade magazine, who was an editor. Did a lot of traveling, also did a lot of things with construction companies then, more years ago than I'll prefer to remember. But we had a real good familiarity with the complexity and the beauty of building and construction. I tremendously admire our members and what they do. They are the heart and soul of the United States. They make America build. They make America great. And I think they're going to have a great time after January 20th in that realm as well. The success is going to continue.
And we've talked, how many times have you and I talked and others, I think, about nobody could do anything they do if it wasn't for our members.
Correct.
The doctors, the hospitals, it all has to be built, the facilities.
And I worked in 3 hospitals as well as marketing and fundraising and public affairs directors, and I'm always just amazed at the complexity and the sophistication that we've been provided by the Creator to have those brain moments to make those things, which I don't understand most of them, and I can't draw a straight line, but I'm so honored to be working with people in our membership level that do these incredible things that make citizens and
it really is incredible when you think about the projects and what they're building and the complexity and the different partners, right? Yeah. So it's and also we've talked a lot over the years about, I don't know any other industry where from day one, it's working to put themselves out of business. So every day after a contract sign or they start a project, they get closer and closer to being out of business and that job being done. So, they're constantly having to obviously develop their backlog and their pipeline. So.
And one of the things that I just am amazed when I talk to our members, particularly those who do the hard work on the ground, but also the project management and the financing people, they drive by afterwards at night and look up at those buildings or look in that city and know that they did something that their family can be proud of and that they've contributed to a region.
Unless you're building a tunnel in Boston, then you can take 30 years and don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
For the government.
Mm-hmm. So, Jay, tell us, who is ABC? What do we have to offer? Why do and why should contractors, belong to this organization? So.
Great question, and one of the things I always say in my time here to our prospective members and in our existing members, we know, we're not like the driver's license, we're not like utility company. You do not need,
car insurance.
get car insurance. You do not need what we do, but we do what we do very well because of our members, because of our influence, because of our advocacy, because of the things that you can't get anywhere else. And we lead in statistics in terms of numbers of people who do what we do, the money that we raise for political campaigns, the number of contractors we have, and that's part of the reason a lot of people join, because we have a high contractor percentage of about 75% of our membership are
Which is
contractors.
phenomenal, amazing. If you do any kind of research, you realize.
Tell us why that matters, though. Now, you said 75% of ABC membership is contractors. Tell our audience why that matters.
Those are comprised of both general contractors and specialty contractors that make the world go round. They build the buildings, they put everything inside that makes it all work. The room we're sitting in has lighting, air conditioning, carpeting, all of the things that the skilled trades bring to life and give life to the industry. Those are the kinds of awards and referrals that we provide to our members so that they know, either from government affair people or from private industry, who are building the future. And
why, from an association perspective, is that unique? 75% of the membership being contractors.
It's very unique because it's a cycle.
Why does it matter to a prospective member?
It matters because you're going to get more for your money. You're going to get more leads. You're going to get more activities, more events. We do 70 events a year from Titusville all the way down to the Florida Keys. We provide referrals from all sorts of sources here and out of state through our other 67 ABC chapters. We interact with them a lot. Those are resources that you cannot get unless you're a member of ABC. In due diligence and in due fairness to all of our members, we're very equal, but we're also very value-centered about the value of what we do.
From what I understand, you're saying, as you said earlier in our conversation, that you don't really need an ABC membership. What you're really saying is you need an ABC membership.
Correct. Absolutely. It's the obverse of the statement, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that myself, earlier. It's true from a perfectly logical perspective. It's not a necessity, but we want the industry to regard us as a necessity. When you realize the leadership we play in terms of business development and networking and workforce development and government and political affairs, we really are a necessity. We want our members to consider us as a necessity. And again, we started off the podcast with talking about, more and more do every year. And we all are, I think, the largest contractor organization in the state of Florida. So many do consider us as a necessity, I'd like to think. So,
if you remember our last episode, Peter, we had our chairman for the year, Brian Suddeth from Miller Construction, on, and he just kind of said it. He's like, "Oh, Miller's been a member for decades, right? Like, obviously, there's value that's created. We have so many. I know we've had some members in 50 years, 55 years, 60 years. Like, to them, clearly, it's a necessity."
As an example of that, we have 85% of contractor retention in last year in 2024. And that, again, is a lot of returning members, a lot of people that have been a long-time member. The delight is, of course, that means that we're being of value to them. They understand. That's part of my role also in our collective role here with everyone. We want to get people to understand the depth of which we go to build their business and give them work.
Tell us a little bit about that process, Jay. You've been doing this a while now. When that meeting with a prospect happens, what do you go into it? How do you prepare yourself, and then what do you go in to talk about? The value of belonging to ABC.
The saying of to get something out of it, you have to get something into it as well, give something into it. I like to listen. I am known to talk a lot, but I also like to listen and listen to what their goals are, what their targets are.
All joking aside, we no good salesperson, if we can call you, you're much more than that, but a professional dot connector or whatever you want to call it, but relationship builder, but you can't be that without being a good listener as well.
Yeah, and so when I hear the wants and needs, oftentimes they might involve access to different financing situations, access to people in a region they've never met, access to getting on lines of communication, which we provide very diligently. We are in touch with all sorts of companies and government agencies and what have you. Talk about that. Sometimes that's of interest to people. Sometimes it's not. We have a lot of things to offer in terms of...
I'm going to say this, Jay, because I've been on a lot of your emails that I've seen back and forth, and I think you're one of the best connectors I've ever met in the business, right? Like, you connect people so well. And I think it has to do with your long history at ABC. Obviously, you're good at your role. You're good at relationships. You understand what members need, what people need. But when something hyper specific comes across your desk, I've noticed, you know right away where to take it. And I think that's such a admirable talent, and that's something you can't teach people, right? Whether you inherently understand how to connect or you don't.
I think that's what people, it's a comfort level that we can give to people. I don't like when people feel like strangers, and I don't like when they, let's say, come to an event and they're standing there alone. Nothing worse than getting in a large crowd. We connect people in person. We do it verbally. We do it in emails. We do it, I delight in putting people together. And for what purpose? For more business, for all sorts of the things that we offer for them to get involved with, our committees, our political fundraising, our ABC Institute training, the whole plethora of things that can be taken advantage of, and that's what you get with membership.
I mean, for all the ways times have changed, that really hasn't. People still love doing business with people they're comfortable with and feel like they are friends with, or can do a handshake or whatnot.
And a lot of our referrals, thankfully, come from people that have been members for a long time as well, and from our board and from others in the community. And so that's a good accomplishment.
But you make another good point about, I've heard many times about, and we've never want to be this type of organization, about people come or somebody new and they feel like there's cliques. And obviously there's going to be people that know each other, but we strive, with your help and with we have a lot of dedicated resources at ABC to help.
I have a great story about
welcome,
that.
Right?
I have a great story about that. My very first ABC event as chief operating officer was at Roxy's in West Palm Beach. I was shocked at how packed it was. And I think I've been at ABC, 2 weeks at that point. And Jay and I are talking, and in the middle of the conversation, his eyes darted, and he says to me, "Oh, that's a new member. Let me just go make sure there's nobody here I need to introduce them to." And he just bolted. And I was so impressed by that, because he understood that there's a role to play for a new member, because it's a crowded room.
Yeah.
It's loud. Everybody knows each other.
And
he's well aware that
you
something
can feel, I don't know, overwhelmed or unwanted or whatever.
could.
Anyway, we strive to, and thank you.
The whole first impression thing is very important. It's a truism, and it's an ancient saying, but it's quite true. So that's the moment that we have to, that we have honored. They've honored us by their presence, so we'd like to make it worth their while.
So it's a long-standing saying, I think, in the association business that the primary reason people join is for that business development and networking. So, and that's probably true. We do an annual membership survey, usually at the end of the year, that we're just now kind of combing through the results. And yes, most people, so we strive to not only make those connections, but make sure our events are a mix of events, both in where they're located and the nature of them, in terms of how you meet people. So, but there are other reasons why people might see value in ABC. What are some of those other things or leads that you might?
One of the value definitions can be savings and discounts that we have through our national and local affiliations.
Are you going to talk about some of these crazy numbers?
I am.
A few of them? It's hard to believe that we get these numbers every year.
Some of these numbers are compelling.
Because of these numbers, I have gone to the audit people at the companies I'm going to mention and made sure that that was an accurate report to the degree of $47,000 of fuel savings.
One member?
One member from Shell.
From our chapter.
From our chapter.
Saved $47,000 in a year.
On fuel.
Yeah.
And then
Did you get a lifetime membership of dues?
We're working on it. Okay. That's exactly what they should do. $47,000 on another from Federal Express. Wow. So you have probably in the chapter from last year in 24, just about $405,000 saved by everyone on a variety of ABC National and ABC discounts. So we strongly urge people to take advantage of that.
Those two members took a quarter of it. Quarter of the savings. Jeez. That's spectacular. So, and what I love about the story is not just the savings, but the fact that, I'm a data person. Right?
Yeah.
We joke about this.
We do, yes.
You all joke about it. But...
Well, we laugh with you, Peter. We laugh with you.
So, but that is really good data.
That's a great data point.
I mean, and the point is, we track it. We know, so we want to hook you up with those savings. We're going to be able to tell you at the end of the year how much. We know, a lot of this information that helps us lead to, like, for example, your engagement at ABC. We tell us a little bit about if somebody joins and we don't see them for a while. What do you all do?
We call that an at-risk member, and we don't mean that in a pejorative way, but it's something that we would like to make sure they know everything that there might be. They might be busy. They might have incredible amounts of business. That's fine. Sometimes they have family emergencies, but we make a special effort to most all of our members to visit them, to talk to them, and to show examples about why and invite them personally to come to a given event or to come over here to our corporate offices, or I go to them.
So you all can track the engagement, and what is it, over the course of a quarter or a 6-month period?
Both.
If they don't show up, they're getting a little special love and attention from you all?
And then we make every effort, and that usually does work. Or there are a variety of reasons they give.
Because we're only as strong as our members and their engagement, right? They drive our strength when it comes to workforce development and politics and government affairs, and
there's a lot happening. So I know you started a new initiative last year for new members to get them to see the big picture, right? Want to talk about that for a little bit?
In this very room, we do an onboarding luncheon. We've got the next one scheduled for the couple of weeks from now. We had 109 new members in 2024.
Wow.
And so we have the first invitations out for that, and we'll do them in 2 groups of probably 40 to 50. It's an ongoing program. It gives an opportunity for them to come here and see the place in person symbolically, but it also gives our staff an opportunity to come and talk for a few minutes about who you all are, who
all
we
the
all
different
are, what we
departments,
do, and question and answer afterwards. And remarkable follow-up happens from the purpose of people. Oh, we didn't know that. Nothing better that someone can say. You know,
you forgot. I'm sorry, Peter. You forgot the free lunch part. You didn't mention.
Well,
that.
yes, the free lunch.
Buy them lunch too.
Thank you.
So, for lack of a better term, this is like an onboarding process, right? So,
absolutely.
It's a kind of you triage, the new members. But can anybody come to this?
Yes,
Say you've been a member for a couple of years, and you'd like
past members as well.
All right. You might want a refresher. You might have a new employee that you might want to send them to learn about how they can get involved in ABC and all ABC does.
Absolutely.
So, but we have limitations, so it's a kind of a first come, first serve. But there'll be another one, and there'll be another one, and there'll be another one.
Yeah.
So you advertise this, or they can look find it in the monthly membership.
Our monthly membership
newsletter.
We do personal invitations. We do phone calls. We do visits, follow up. Yes.
Talk about that membership newsletter.
So we have something called Membership Matters, and it follows a pattern of on release on a Monday morning, as do all of our different product lines and brands.
Once a month.
Once a month.
One Monday. Is it the first Monday, or do you know?
It is, I believe, the first Monday, the second Monday.
Anyway, it's not like we're inundating here, but once a month you get this Membership Matters.
And it has
electronic newsletter.
It'll have some things about recent new things that might happen. There's an insurance trust that's been launched by ABC National. We've highlighted that for members. It's a captive insurance situation, which is very unique for members only. We will talk about and show events, photos, and things coming up, and in general, it's a very it's been up for about a year, and it's a very good response. The open rate has been very good, so we're gratified with that.
So if you want all things membership, including hopefully the upcoming sessions of the onboarding lunch, that we provide, look to the Membership Matters newsletter. So
I did have one question. I know we forgot to ask Jay. How many members does the ABC have?
23,000 nationwide in 68 chapters.
Wow.
And we're sitting at the moment at the beginning of this year at 604.
Wow.
And that's the largest contractor percentage in the state of Florida, one of the largest in ABC National. And very gratified with our members. There's nothing better than our members on this earth, in my opinion, for what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to have been here this long and look forward to a great new year.
Anything we haven't covered that you'd like to stress or say about?
Or say hi to Joyce.
Hi, Joyce. Very, very happy with everything, and very good. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you all for listening and honoring us with your time. We look forward to sharing another episode with you very soon. And for comments, you can always email us. We hope you will at The Obvious. That's TheObvious at abceastflorida.com. Until next time, ciao.
Thank you.